Hi, hello there, it's Night2 aka Nightmare, and I'm a little bit under the weather from this recording binge, but hope everybody's having themselves a pleasant holiday. So welcome back to RV Axolotl. Last episode, we finally got to learn more about what happened, specifically what the Axolotls experienced in their human life, which was as sad as I was not really expecting. That was just sad, and it kind of hit me on a very emotional level, just because, well, it was a little bit relatable. On the other hand, we got RB back. Shit.
Welcome back. Well, would you look at that? All 5 of your essences are in pristine condition. This is wonderful news.
Wonderful news, you say?
Yes. I am supremely satisfied with all the progress we've made thus far. It's a little hard not to get excited at the prospect of your 5 essences combining into one again.
And why do you want that?
In preparation for the war, I've scoured so many territories and recruited so many individuals. I've split and rejoined so many essences. So many of them were duds. However, there are others like yourselves, a few in number, which show promise. A few blooming flowers in a garden of rotting, mold-infested filth. Our affinities are growing even as we speak.
I don't understand. Our affinity? I can't say that I've known you for very long, RB, but you don't strike me as the divinely benevolent type. Nonetheless, we've been under your control for God knows how long now. I think I speak for all of us when I say that it's time for you to fess up and stop with all the cryptic riddles.
Are you sure that you don't want to take a breather? I am aware how taxing looking at one's past is.
I'm not tired if you guys aren't. I'm in an uncovering truth sort of mood right now. Right, guys?
I'm eager as well to learn why Alan was sent here, and why we had to leave the Kingdom of Glass.
Yeah, buddy. You better tell us the truth or you'll be cruising for a bruising. Mr. Bracket Boy, sir.
Nice little shift there. We need to know what will become of ourselves, of Alan.
Let me clear up a misconception. Although you originate from one essence, each of you are truly your own entities. In the same way that your mailman may be a different person than your dentist, each of you are your own selves. But it is possible for you 5 to rejoin again. That is the only way you will become Alan once more. When the time is right, I plan to do just that. But I need your word that you will serve me beforehand.
Do I need to repeat myself? How are we supposed to know what we're serving if you won't even tell us who you are?
You will get your information shortly, but I am letting you know the end goal of our engagement.
I don't like the sound of serving someone. What if we say no?
It'll be a terrible shame, of course, but I will allow it. You will join the great essence of souls around you, forever floating through transitional. For all intents and purposes, you will cease to exist. Your personality as Alan no more than echoes in the minds of the few who knew you when you were alive.
But me and Liam met so many people in the Kingdom of Glass. What about them?
Well, they'll remember you too, of course.
I hope this doesn't come off as selfish, but I don't want our journey to come to an end here. I feel like, knowing what we know now, we haven't even begun to realize our full potential, truly.
Potential, yes. That is good, Lana.
But I don't know about fighting in a war.
The war is merely what I have dubbed my conflict. Rest assured that it will not be the kind of fighting which comes to mind most in wars. Probably, anyway. Not if we can contain the threat. You should know that siding with me could potentially create more pain and suffering than you've ever experienced in your short life. Remember, each individual's rock bottom is different, and there is no true limit or bottom to suffering, really. An even lower plateau is always possible. But so is the chance at happiness. Going back to your old existence and righting what was wrong. If you do experience an even harsher existence, I promise you that I will try my best to harness that energy positively. Your life was a hard one by conventional first world standards, but many throughout history have lived much cooler lives, filled with disease and abuse and torture.
Why should it be a contest for who suffers the most? What is the point of that?
Yeah, that's right. It's not really fair to compare suffering. Everyone handles stuff in different ways.
It is for me. Because you see, I am rock bottom itself. And my suffering is still going on. I will tell you some of the information you want to know now. But you will have to follow me to my office. We are not heading far, but as a word of caution, do not let go of my energy as we cross. A lone essence in transitional is as good as dead in most cases. That is what they want for us. They want everyone to become this worthless filth around you.
Who is they?
Follow me and I will explain everything.
Hey, my head's feeling kinda funny. That's not good. That's not good.
It won't be long now. You know, seeing the office of a territory lord is somewhat of a rare thing, even for those who have gone through similar events that the three of you have.
It's a box!
You can open your eyes now. We've arrived.
Whoa!
Welcome to my reality. Welcome to the office of a territory lord.
Hello!
Please, for your own safety, do not go wandering off. Your physical forms cannot sustain themselves well enough in transitional. Not yet, anyway.
Yo, RB, this place is huge! I'm talking at least 15 football fields huge. Maybe more even. Yeah, it's large. And quite pretty, too. I've always been fond of the stars, but never thought I'd actually get to see them in person.
You say you live in this place? All alone? Live might not be the right word, but I do dwell in here when there is progress to be made. It is where I work.
Yeah, this place is great and all, but unlike these chumps, I'm not distracted by parlor tricks. You said you'd explain all your cryptic bullshit. So go on, explain everything. Now!
As soon as Neo is ready.
Alright, Neo, what are you...
Is he in for...
Why are you so focused on that shape on the left?
Yo, you can't look away, can you? I think I understand.
Egghead.
Is that really?
Is that their tank?
I think it is.
Is that our tank?
What is our tank doing here?
How astute. I'm surprised you recognized it so quickly.
I know every square inch of the tank, as does Axie and Lana.
All of my territories, possible recruits, and projects are gathered along this wall. But do not mistake that square for your tank. Not in the literal sense. There is much you don't understand about how my kind works. But for the sake of swiftness, I suppose you could call this representation of your tank something akin to a live hologram.
Is the kingdom around here as well?
Somewhere, yes. It is not an arbitrary decision to send you there, you know. I see you still cannot take your eyes off of the tank, Neo, even though there are so many wonders just out of your view. I'm curious. Do you wish to be fully formed that badly? I expect that you'll see the waters again one last time before you all form into one single essence. Say that I split you into only 5 is wrong. The tank is a part of your greater self, too. A part without emotions, to be sure, but an important part nonetheless.
You say that we'll go back there?
Yes, that is the plan. The tank is a small, fragile, and temporary reality, much like yourselves. If all goes accordingly, you will bring your experiences in the tank and the kingdom with you in whatever form you will take in the future.
And what form is that exactly?
A weapon. You will be a powerful weapon under my control. I have earned that right. Because I saved your lowly essence from an unfortunate fate. And because you and we have affinity with one another.
I don't follow. I know you want us under your control, but as a weapon?
Yes, a weapon in order to help beat them. I'm so glad that you are here. The closer you are to me, the further away you are from them.
Why do we want to get away from whoever you're talking about?
Come closer, all of you. To learn about him, you need to learn about me.
Oh, hello!
Hopefully this little briefing will clear up any misconceptions you have about how you ended up here.
Hello, Rock Bottom!
Originally, you came from a reality called Earth, a reality revolving around the sentient beings known as humans. Territory lords can, sometimes, with the power of a great enough affinity, create personal realities for those who may become potential minions. There are many realities out there, all across Transitional. It is wider and grander than you could ever imagine. And there are even Earths which are parallel to the one you inhabited before you came here. For example, our observer, Sobata, comes from one of those parallel realities.
I feel called out. I feel very called out here.
Wait, hold up, this is really confusing. Who the heck is Sobata?
As me.
Are they the one we should be wary of?
No. Perhaps I should not overload you with so much information. Let's start with who I am first. You want to know about me, don't you? Who I am and what I want.
Clearly.
My name is RB, and I am a being known as a territory lord. There are many territory lords out there, each with a different purpose, inhabiting different territories, using various minions for different purposes. My friend Daredevil, for example, deals with essences who frequently blur the line between life and death. Time Sync gives power to those who invested much of their lives into an activity that never paid off for them. Okay. There are others too, of course. Unrequited, selfless, vanity, grudge, reclaimed. The list goes on and on. There are a finite amount of us, 29 in all. Territory lords exist whenever there is sentient life. We are real, of course, but due to our nature being outside of the general time flow, we are not known by many. The experiences and stories of essences across realities give power to the universal concepts, which you could say is our manifestation. We are not totally omnipresent, but we do have certain abilities. A few of these abilities may even benefit you five in the near future. As Rock Bottom, I deal with you creatures whose identity are defined by their lowest points. And there's a certain word you should know that's important between all territory lords and their minions. Affinity. I have affinity with you guys in some way, shape, or form, which is why I was able to bring your essence back. But please, do not make the common mistake of minions and get affinity confused with empathy. If a territory lord has a certain affinity with an essence, well, under certain circumstances, we can bestow a certain amount of power upon them. In my case, the lower the point I feel someone has reached, the more power I can give them. But territory lords have limits, too. We must hedge our bets carefully, decide who we want to invest our resources in. As the name implies, we territory lords have places as well where we and our minions are more powerful. Places that are essentially ours where the territory lords aren't often welcome. Your tank, the Kingdom of Glass. This office and many other areas under my territory is where my power thrives.
The hometown where you were born, Enginos, is not one of my territories. Enginos is a very important area that does not yet belong to one single territory lord.
You could even say that Enginos is the reason I sought you out in the first place.
Okay.
Oftentimes, territory lords vie for power, resulting in conflicts. You may have been born in a peaceful place, in a peaceful era, but do not doubt a war has been breaking out in the shadows.
So that's what you meant by war? A squabble between you gods?
It's much more than that, Neo. The fate of everything is on the line.
Surely we experienced some tragedy in our life, and surely, if what you say is true, you may be able to give us power. But was there nobody else in our world you could use?
I have many candidates in many worlds, but in yours, none.
Huh.
There were other candidates I considered for Enginos, of course. There are many others who have suffered just as much, if not more, than you. But the rest of your Earth was off limits. It is possible, however, to take essences from other realities and insert them into Enginos. And in fact, I may do just that in the near future. But having you as a native helps me set an anchor to that time period. If all goes according to plan, you will be useful in more ways than one. In this sense of selection, however, you are one of only a few options in that town. Other territory lords are preparing other agents to go there as well. But why is the town of Enginos so special? It has been designated as the one place where many territory lords will soon unite and war will break out.
Of course, in neutral territory.
And I mean to send you back there.
We'll go back? We could really go back?
Those days, the ones you call dead days, those days of your past are where my power will shine. Even the ones from your early youth. Because of your lack of input on those days, I might be able to rewrite time and send you back. That is a big if, though. I theorize there may be danger, even if I'm able to bestow an amount of power to you as Alan. The greatest affinity I have with essences is when they reach a low point, but never given completely to dying. And as I told Ankh once before, most essences do not interact with territory lords directly. When you died and came into my possession, I examined your essence, saw the promise you made to yourself, that no matter what you would never give in to killing yourselves, and instantly recognized the potential you could have as my minion. I split your essence into 5 parts. 6 if you counted the enclosed reality of your tank, and attempted to guide you those few times you ventured out in transitional. Liam and Ankh ended up in here first. They are the 2 parts of Alan who are the most in conflict with each other, so I thought it important that they spend some time together.
That's one hell of an idea for a bonding exercise.
So, let me get this straight. You put us into the tank, erased our memories, and just hope for the best?
That's right. You've just seen for yourself how foggy my view of your tank was. I could not directly view the inside contents. The only way we are able to interact would be if you guys came through the void, which you did. The void is partly a doorway to transitional, Transitional is where all essences go when they die. But for territory lords and those with enough resolve and power not to be ingested by it, Transitional is a seemingly infinite highway which connects every reality.
So that message in my journal from the beginning, you wrote that to prepare us for this, I guess. But what about all those items that used to come through the void? The books, the other weird messages.
Other messages? Oh, sure, I may have sent you that one at the start, but it's not like there was some grand correspondence between us.
Then, wait, hold on. What about the items? Why'd they stop?
What did you say?
During the early days, there were various items, mostly books that came through the void. Eventually, they just kind of stopped coming in.
That is troubling. The items should not have stopped. Their purpose was to accelerate your emotional growth.
Wait, what? You mean you weren't the one that stopped dropping the items so something interfered? Huh. Was another territory lord that interfered, maybe? Huh.
Personal realities such as your tank often respond to subconscious desires made by the inhabitants. Since the tank is a greater part of your consciousness, the items would be in response to what you needed most at the time. That in itself would not be surprising. You're saying the items from the void came in at regular intervals at the start, and then what? They just stopped?
That's right. Early on, too.
The void should not have stopped giving you items, even up to the very end.
I originally thought that all 5 of us were in some sort of competition, and you were the one who stopped the void from working after you designated Ank as the winner.
It seems you may have misinterpreted my message. There was a riddle early on, yes, but the answer to that should have been clear the moment you 5 realized you were all one single entity split into 5.
So the other messages weren't from you, RB? There were 3 at least. I was obsessed with figuring out the truth to them for quite some time, so I'm not mistaken on this.
No. I sent you only one message with your notebook as soon as the tank was formed. Was there anything else odd about your lives there?
Yeah. Something is starting to bother me too. You said you couldn't see or interact with us when we were inside the tank?
That is correct. It was your reality. I couldn't risk tainting the project with my own hands. Everything in the tank, sans those few items from Transitional, is a part of your greater whole. Although now I'm starting to understand that keeping a closer eye on you may have been more beneficial than I thought. But you were just one project of many. I couldn't predict if you'd reach this stage or not.
A long time ago, when I was lost, in pain, sick, and frightened in the tank, I remember obsessing over an eye that would watch us from outside. You're saying that eye wasn't you? I've even mentioned it to you before, RB, I think. Earlier, you mentioned someone named Sobata being an observer or something.
Was that my eye?
Could it have been them?
This eye. If we are to assume that it was not one of your delusions, and that your suffering attracted its gaze. No, the eye was not Sobata. I see now that perhaps I made a big mistake. By not looking at the tank, the primary subject of this recruitment, I've been missing critical information. Uh-oh. RB? That... They... I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm trying to act professional right now, but the truth is... I'm seething with anger.
What do you mean?
It looks like reforming your essences into one again might be impossible after all, and it is my fault.
Huh? But you just said...
Liam, I called Sobata here to observe you, sure, but it is impossible that they are this I you mentioned. Sobata comes from a universe so distant that even I can barely speak to them. Even then, our conversations are often one-sided and somewhat distorted. I merely opened up a small window for them to watch. Just as people in many realities can watch television or read books or play games, it does not mean they can directly influence what they observe. The purpose of calling Sobata was to observe your reality. They come from the dimension which can give power and credence to those they observe. That is common knowledge amongst territory lords. But barring very specific and very unusual circumstances, none of which we have here, they cannot directly interact with beings from other realities. I feel like a fool for not asking you more details about your time in the tank. Even after all this time, I still make big mistakes.
So, if the eye watching me so long ago wasn't Sabata, then who was it?
I think I've got a very good idea. I've told you to be prepared for a war. But you should know a war is only really a war when there are two or more opposing sides. In recent times, many territory lords have had our domain shrink and our powers weaken. What we thought may have been just another conflict in our long history turned out to be much more. Even amongst my kind, there is one who stands out as, currently, the most powerful. If they are involved in this already, then I'm not sure what to do. Tell me, was there anything else strange that happened during your time in the tank?
Well, you never explained to us who the babies are. We've had a lot of the process, so we haven't brought them up yet.
Babies?
Yeah, it happened a couple of years after Liam and Ank left, after the Void stopped giving us items regularly.
We kind of assumed that for a while they were Liam and Ank reincarnated or something. It turned out that they were slowly doing damage to the tank by eating up all the plants. At least that's what I think. Last time we saw them, they tried to stop us from leaving the tank, which would have killed us.
That isn't good. For them to make the first move, it means they are aware of my plans. How many other products of mine aside from yours have they attempted to soil? How many of their plans have succeeded? Perhaps this is why I've had such a low success rate lately.
When you say them, are you referring to the babies?
I'm not sure yet. What other items did you get from the Void?
Well, lots of supplies at first. And, books. One of them was from you, even. The one with the weird message on it.
The Tale of the Ryukosho?
Everything. My discovery of the Ryukosho, the world's oldest and deadliest civilization, written by Dr. Gotts.
Well, that just about confirms it. The only reason they'd share with you the tale of Dr. Gotts is to instill fear upon you, which should we reach this moment.
Wait, so you know about Dr. Gotts?
That was our favorite book. We read it over and over each year.
Dr. Gotts had affinity with me as well until they took him away. Yes, I'm familiar with the journal. Most territory lords are at this point. It serves as a warning for the day when they decide to reclaim us all, which is what a lot of us are trying to prevent.
In the book, Dr. Gotts is studying something too. A tribe called the Ryukosho.
That journal is not fiction, but fact. Dr. Gotts was a real archaeologist in your reality once. He taught at a university based in Enchinos, but got too close to them. He wanted to be their messenger, but he was ultimately deemed unworthy and was written out of existence.
The journal was kind of scant of details as to what happened to him at the end. We talked about it many times. So, he died?
Worse than death. His existence never had any influence on any person around him in the end. By erasing him, they erased every consequence he ever had in his life. All the people he met, all the property they owned. By erasing him, they had to rewrite reality. Every sentient creature has an essence. And every living creature from every reality, yours, the Kingdom of Glass, Sabata's, even my world, where the territory lords interact, they were all one at the very start of existence. Their ultimate goal, which we're trying to prevent, is for them to merge all realities together once again. All the territory lords on my side are recruiting their best minions. I am no different. You are to become one of my envoys to Enchinos in the war to come. I suspect these babies are envoys too. Scouts of their army. Their goal in getting to the tank, corrupting and killing the three of you, was to halt my action of gaining more powerful minions. They must know my plan to reform you 5 into 1 and have you claim a part of Enchinos. What a shame.
What do you mean?
When you plant so many trees, it is unlikely that all of them will grow. Even if it is the tree that you want to blossom more than anything, there's no guarantee. I'm disappointed in myself. I should have taken more precautions. Huh. I suppose that with the 5 of you here, it is not a total loss. The U5 may be valuable yet, though in a lesser way than I had initially hoped. But to reform, to become Alan once again and go back to your old life in Enchinos, that is no longer a safe possibility.
Why?
You need to go back to the tank in order to reform, even if they are lowly scouts. I'm not prepared to send you back there to fight against the Ryokosho. If you were to have fought them before they ruined the tank, there is a good possibility you would have won. They tended to gain your trust, and were secretly doing damage from the shadows for years. That is how our kind orders our minions. But now the part of your essence that was once the tank is lost.
But the tank is our home. It's been our home for decades now.
You will have new homes under my guidance, just as Ank and Liam did for these many years.
Even if we had a good life in the Kingdom of Glass, I always wanted to go back to the tank. It always felt like there was some unfinished business there.
I imagine these creatures are disposing of your tank now and getting ready to return back to their hive mind.
I don't accept that. That shouldn't stop you from giving us power. Just like the last time you gave me power.
Our whole life we've been fighting against an invisible illness. Fighting against something that's visible should be a piece of cake.
I can give you power, but I do not know how it will fare against envoys of the Ryukosho.
I was born a scientist, so what I say should be more calculated. But I agree with Axie and Dank. I think we should do it anyway. Watching my old life from when I was Alan, I couldn't help but feel there was so much lost potential there. Even if there's an infinitesimally low chance, theoretically, of us returning to that time, I want to take that chance. The first thoughts I ever had in the tank were about getting back home. And you're telling us that if we can get rid of those kids and restore our tank to its former glory, it'll be possible? The way I see it, if you're the logical side of Alan, then I'm the illogical side. For us to agree on something must mean that it's worth it.
You all agree then? You want to go back? Even if it could result in your permanent deaths? Even if it is possibly futile?
Yes. I don't think I'll be able to live with myself otherwise.
Same here. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Well, this leaves me in a predicament. If I refuse to let you go, surely you'll resent me. I can see that. And I need you to be at your most powerful when the war comes. But should I send you back and you all perish, well, that would be a shame. I have many more prospects than you. Some much more powerful, as I mentioned, but none that could call Enchinos their hometown. I only had one shot at getting someone from Enchinos.
And we're still that shot.
All right. Fine. I knew picking a fight with Ryukosho was going to be an uphill battle anyway. We need to hurry then. Your tank could disappear at any moment. I can't do much on such short notice, but I'm giving you my blessing. As much power as I can reasonably spare. Just as a human cannot enter an ant farm, I cannot assist you any more than this. If my minions want to bet at all, I, as your master, have to accept that. You will be powerful, but I have no idea of knowing how advanced these Ryukosho scouts are. They could be of a similar development than you lot, or they could be much greater.
Wait! What do we do after we've taken care of the kids?
I cannot observe your tank from the outside, so you'll have to come to me through Transitional again. Just go through the void and we'll discuss the rest.
All right. We'll see you soon, RB.
Good luck, you 5. Alan, use everything at your disposal.
Okay, so we're going to be beating up some babies. Delightful.
Wear your experiences like armor and wield it like a weapon. That is what it means to be an elite soldier of Rock Bottom.
All right.
Finally, I get to wreak havoc.
I guess this is it. They made the first move after all. For me, at least, it'll be over soon. What an awful day. Lehman Ank, thank you for your years of service. Axie, Lana, and Neo. I'm sorry I never got to give you more than a touch of my blessing. I watched your life out. I feel like as one entity you could have reclaimed many things. I'm sad that I couldn't help you erase the pain of those dead days of your youth. But against the weight of all worlds, you are but a pebble. Well, I suppose. It's back to the drawing board.
Wait, did they all... How will I get access to Enginos now?
Wait, the tank just... Did it seriously just crack and did they all just... Really? Act 5. The last... Those are piranhas! Oh, no. Okay, Okay, first off, I have a legitimate excuse, because I'm pretty sure you can tell I'm sniffling like crazy right now that I have to stop right here. Also, holidays and shit, I feel like I really want to tackle Act 5 at full steam here. So, I'm gonna have to leave this for a week, because right now I'm kind of running out of time with my own recording. Because I'm recording this all a week ahead of time, just so I don't have to worry about it during the holidays. So, yeah. So we learned a little bit about the territory lords, that there's some shit going on, that some of the stuff that happened was not supposed to happen, how we were supposed to keep getting items, but there was some interference. And it seems like those babies are, seemingly agents of another territory lord, interfering in what is going to be potentially a hell of a war. Which, screw those guys, to be fair. And judging by that picture of piranhas, I have a very sick feeling. And just that image, just that moment where the tank just vanished, does not fill me with hope. So I'm going to try to tackle this next week full steam. And I will see all of you guys there. So thank you all very much for watching. And if you all like this, be sure to let me know. And I will see all of you guys in the next video.